All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The day looks like it has officially come. The 49ers and Steelers have a deal in place for Brandon Aiyuk. If San Francisco gives the final sign-off, keep in mind, folks, the San Francisco 49ers also have an offer out to Aiyuk on a long-term deal as well. So I am extremely out of breath. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I was just scrolling Twitter. I saw this report. I actually thought the trade had already gone through, so it just ran down here. Folks, we've been talking about this literally every single week for the entire freaking summer. We've talked about this the entire freaking summer. This would be groundbreaking for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this would also be huge for San Francisco. Now, as far as details go, we'll get to that in just a second. Guys, if this contract or if this goes through and the Pittsburgh Steelers, want Brandon Aiyuk long term, you have the best wide receiver room in the National Football League. Or, actually, now that I say that out loud, I'm not trying to show any shade to throw any shade to other teams, but you get my point here. I mean, that's like, I'm thinking T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brandon Aiyuk, George Pickens. That might even be better in a year or two. Might even be better right now. George Pickens, one of the most ascending young star wide receivers in the NFL. I've been saying it all summer. I think a lot of people are starting to agree with it, especially once you get into the statistics of Brandon Aiyuk. This is one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. Folks, he's 26 years old. He's going to be 26 for the whole season. He's one of the best receivers in the league. So we're going to talk about this trade here. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, let's run this video up. Let's shoot for the stars. Let's go for 500 likes on this video. There's a lot of pros and cons of trading for Brandon Aiyuk as far as Pittsburgh goes. But the way I see it, and it's mainly contract related, they're going to get flamed on Twitter and, talk shows and all that stuff just because who's throwing him the football? Justin Fields and all his fumbles and, sacks? Or is it going to be Russell Wilson, Mr. Oldhead, who's on a one-year veteran minimum contract because no one else wanted him? They're going to get ragged on if this deal goes through. Now, folks, I'm just going to go under the assumption for the sake of this video that this deal is done. And if this video comes out and the deal is no longer, on the table and San Francisco and Brandon Aiyuk come to a contract extension, that video will be swiftly deleted. But I'm just going to be under the assumption that if this deal goes through, on paper, here's the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, all right, as far as playmakers go. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, QB1, QB2. Your running back room, one of the most versatile, talented running back rooms in the NFL, especially, once you get closer to playoff time and you're taking on divisional rivals and it's cold and it hurts to tackle, it hurts to get tackled. They got Najee Harris and they got Jaylen Warren. They got a bruiser. They got a guy who's extremely versatile in Jaylen Warren. He could do a bunch of everything. He's a phenomenal receiving running back. He's probably the long-term Steelers starting running back after this season. Now, no shade to Najee. Najee looks phenomenal, by the way. He looks phenomenal. He's got a chip on his shoulder this year because the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to decline his fifth-year option. But still, for the time being, you have both of them. Wide receiver room. George Pickens, Brandon Aiyuk, Van Jefferson, and your tight end room of Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. Then obviously, Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, Cordell, a bunch of other players, but those are the main guys. So folks, Brandon Aiyuk, 25th pick overall in the 2020 draft. He's set to earn about $14.1 million this upcoming season. Here are his stats. He's 26 years old once again. I'm telling you, this is... And actually, I just saw a report from 7 hours ago. Pittsburgh Steelers offered a Brandon Aiyuk revealed. By the way, Brandon Aiyuk is an all-pro. According to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo, the Steelers and 49ers would get a deal done in a matter of seconds if San Francisco caved and decided to move on. Currently, the main objective for the 49ers is to ink Aiyuk to a new contract. No solid ground has been on that. We got a big offer from the Patriots here. I keep seeing rumors about Alex Highsmith. Okay, that was a stupid article. Nothing was revealed. All right, sorry guys, I had to pause that, and I just wanted to make sure the Pittsburgh Steelers offered him, or reportedly offered him, around $28 million contract per year for his extension. But once again, Brandon Aiyuk this past season, 75 catches, 1,342 yards, 7 touchdowns. He averaged 18 yards per catch. He's only been in the NFL for 4 seasons. He only missed one game this past season, sorry, in the regular year. And then in his rookie year back in 2020, he did end up missing about 4 games. But health has definitely been a strong suit for Brandon Aiyuk. In his career, he's just under 4,000 receiving yards. Once again, he's only been in the NFL for 4 seasons, and he has averaged 14.6 yards per completion, or yards per reception, sorry. 25 total touchdowns in 4 seasons. 4 seasons. Anyways, I think Brandon Aiyuk, I keep saying on this channel, I think he's a top 10 wide receiver. I think that's kind of, obvious to me, but I don't think NFL media is quite on the same wavelength as that narrative goes. And that's why he wants this boatload of money. And obviously with San Francisco, they got to pay a bunch of freaking players on both offense and defense. Brock Purdy, you also are going to want to pay Brock Purdy eventually. One thing in the Pittsburgh Steelers' favor, so I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about this is going to be way too expensive. This is going to be an overpay. No matter who's in this trade as far as players go, to acquire Brandon Aiyuk, I've seen 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. I've seen a guy like Alex Highsmith in there and a 5th-round pick. There's a bunch of different trade offers there. As long as they don't get rid of somebody, they definitely shouldn't. But I think we're starting to see Herbig, the rookie Peyton Wilson. Alex Highsmith's an extremely talented football player, but most importantly, you still have TJ Watt. But once again, the main thing that's in the Pittsburgh Steelers' favor is they have 2 extremely cheap quarterbacks right now. You have Russell Wilson on a veteran minimum, then you also have Justin Fields. The thought process is we're going to run through this season. We're going to start Russell Wilson, or I'm saying the Steelers are going to start Russell Wilson. And if it works, it works. Great. We'll deal with this future quarterback thing at the end of the season. If it doesn't work, all right, let's see what Justin Fields can do for the final month and a half. Hopefully it doesn't happen, because that would mean the Pittsburgh Steelers are, really struggling offensively there. But Justin Fields could get some run at some point this season. And the thought process is, if he shows you enough, the Pittsburgh Steelers will extend him, and he could be, the next franchise QB for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next couple of seasons. But once again, I don't care about the money, because first off, it's not my money. But you kind of always find ways to make it work. Quarterbacks are typically the positional group, in my opinion, that really hamper cap space. And thankfully, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have that problem. They might have that problem soon. But it's a wait and see situation at the quarterback spot. So if Brandon Aiyuk is traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is just an absolute, this would be an A+ trade, in my opinion. Oh my God, JJ McCarthy tore his meniscus? Wow. All right, well, this isn't a Vikings video, so I apologize. I was just trying to see if we got any details on this trade report. That's it for today. I know this was just, kind of off the cuff here. Steelers fans, especially NFL fans, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let me know your thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give it a grade rating if the deal ends up, coming to fruition. If Brandon Aiyuk is a Pittsburgh Steeler, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Pittsburgh did well? Do you think it's an overpay? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We'll see you.